Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ANANTA IAS daily newspaper analysis video. So, without wasting any time, let's dive into the article. Okay, let's start. Our first article uh, about the model code of conduct. Okay, the malleable code of conduct. Why? This is written by Mr. Rangarajan R. Sir, who is a former IS officer. Okay, so why it is called malleable? Because the political parties tend to bend it according to their requirements. They bypass this law. They find loopholes in this and they influence the people who are going to vote during the time of election. So the article is all about it. Let's dive into it. Okay, let's start. So what is the moral code of conduct? You need to understand what is moral code of conduct. It's the guidelines for conduct of political parties and candidates during election. Okay, so it was first used in Kerala in 1960. It was first used in Kerala in 1960s. It evolved through the consensus of the political parties and first implemented strictly. It was very strictly implemented in the 1990s during a time of legendary Election Commission of India, the administration. Okay. Then it was revised in 2013 by Election Commission of India. It becomes operational when does it start enforcing it? From the date of election scheduled announcement till the announcement of the results. Okay, from the date of election has been announced till the result. Okay, so what is the purpose? Purpose and scope. It's about free and fair elections, the very soul of our democracy. So how they are going to do it by maintaining a level playing. Ministers and authorities are prohibited from announcing financial grants, new projects, infrastructure schemes, or using any public resources to influence voters or favor any party who is in power. Okay, so there are two types of conduct. Okay, there are two types of rules which are being set. One is general conduct, which is applicable for all the political parties and all candidates, for everyone, which is general rule. That's why it's called general. Okay, uh, what is this? What are the rules? No activities that aggravate existing difference or create hatred between communities, caste, and religion. They cannot do anything of such. Okay. Next thing, you can criticize a party's policy programs, but you cannot do any kind of a personal attacks on leaders and all the candidates who are in the election, participating in the election. Okay. Criticism only on the policies and programs. Next thing, place of worship. This is a very important one. Place of worship should not be used for election propaganda. Okay. Then fourth, avoid corrupt practices like bribing or intimidating the voter. Maintaining peace and order during public meetings and processions. Then one more point is respect the election authorities' direction like campaign timing, location, and use of loudspeakers. These are the general conduct. And now the other thing is rules for the party who is in power. They or normally they used to have the upper hand, right? So there is special restriction for those who is in power, so that level playing field is being uh, imposed properly. Okay, so what they are not supposed to do: no misuse of official position. Okay, and government machinery you can't use. No misuse. Okay, no misuse. And then financial grants or promises should not be announced. Should not be announced. No new scheme, no roads projects, no foundation stones should be laid, no ad hoc appointments or transfer of officials should be done in this. Okay. Then the public funds in government transport cannot be used for election campaigning. Ministers and authorities should not combine official visits with election work. Prime Minister, Chief Minister, and other ministers can visit their offices for routine work, but not for any inauguration or public events. They cannot visit for such things. Okay, which is related to election. Sanction of welfare benefits should not be timed to influence voters. This is the very problem which we're going to discuss today's uh, article. Okay, so what if someone violates MCC is not legally enforced as itself. Okay, but it's a set of moral norms, not a law. You should know this word. It's not a law. Okay, so violation can be dealt under existing laws like Representation of People's Act 1961. It's simply we can explain like it's the same as our fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are not enforceable by itself, but they can be enforced through many other acts. In the same way, here MCCs are also enforced through various other existing laws. Okay? Enforcement relies heavily on political consensus and judicial interpretation. If they are not, uh, if they are interpreted as not an uh, violation of a model code of conduct, we can easily escape from that punishment also. So in 2013, Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievance Law and Justice has recommended that it should be legally binding. But Commission come up with the explanation that if elections are things which happen, which they are conducting, the election commissions conduct within 45 days window, mostly in that short period window. If it is made illegal, if model code of conduct is made legal, if someone complains uh, about breaching it, and if it goes to the judiciary, then it will take more time to uh, solve the problem, and the election will be more delayed, which will cause more problems in the political scenario. So that is why, that is the reason election commission cited, not to giving the legal binding status for the model protestant. So what is why is this news? This is news because of the Bihar election. Okay? Bihar election, there is a uh, scheme that has been announced in August 2025, launched in August 2025, Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana for women. Okay? They're providing 10,000 grants for women self-employment. 10,000 okay, grants for self-employment. Disbursement began in September 2025 and continued close to election dates 31 October and November 7th. November 6th is election date, and another phase 2 will be done by 11th. So they did it this, deliberately very close to the election date. So it is criticized that as violation of this model code of conduct, since it influenced the voters before election. Giving money to women at this point of time will obviously influence the decision making or voting choice of that uh, whole community of women as a whole. Okay. So, however, government argues that it's a continuing welfare. There is a continuing and not a new election related program. So, various uh, governments used to do this thing by finding the loopholes in the model code of conduct. Okay, what are the challenges? Challenges is that successive government exploit loopholes by timing the project's launch near election. They do this. Okay, then election commission ability to act limited since election are completed quickly, while legal proceedings take longer. It takes longer. Okay, election should be completed very quick, but if it is made legal, it will take longer. Okay? Then politicians use this business way to bypass MPC and repackage welfare. The old welfare scheme, they will be repackaging it and using it as an election agenda for the election campaigning. Okay? So we have certain codes that are very that will be useful for our maybe essay writing or in the introduction portion. We can use it as uh, in the answer writing. So codes are Ambedkar's warning that refers to Ambedkar's warning that even good constitution can become bad if implemented poorly. Okay, there's one more line from Hamlet, like on comparing the current misuse of MCC, more honored in a breach than the observer. Then one more very important line, very interesting one, is that it is much more important to kill bad laws than to pass good ones. Is former U.S. President has said it. We can quote this line for the current issue. Perfectly fit for that. So the main argument here that it MCC is designed to ensure fairness, but malleability is being used by the political party in order to get bypass this uh, law, this guideline. Okay, and election commission must reinforce this authority by making MCC legally binding and preventing caste-based populism during elections. So this is what this article is all about. We have discussed important points of it, and let's move on to our next article, that is about the contempt of court. What is contempt of court? What constitutes it? How this constitution defines the code of records and two types of contempt. These all are in the article. Let's dive into it. Contempt of court refers to act that diminish the authority of judiciary or obstruct the administration of justice. Okay, it is considered as reasonable restriction on freedom of speech under Article 19.2. Article 19.1 says the freedom of speech and expression, but Article 19.2 we have so many reasonable restrictions implied on that particular freedom. For example, sovereignty and integrity, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency and morality, defamation, incitement to violence, and one among them is contempt of court. Okay, so Article 19.2 says about reasonable restrictions. So, constitutional provision. What's the constitutional provision? Supreme Court and High Court designated as Court of Records, Article 129 and 215. For Supreme Court, this for the High Court. Says that it's a Court of Record, which means whatever the court is saying, whatever judgments is passed, whatever guidelines have been said by the Supreme Court, they have to be followed, and they are considered as a law in our country. And being the court of record, they have the power to punish for contempt of themselves if they are being violated. They are being if someone is not following it or breaching it, abusing it, they are saying criticizing it. Healthy criticism is okay, but in a bad manner, they can be considered the contempt of court, and court can punish it by themselves. So, okay, there's an act for that, Contempt of Court Act 1971. It has two types. Okay, two types. We have learned about types. Civil contempt 2B and criminal contempt section 2C. Civil contempt is willful disobedience of judgment, decree, direction, order, writ, uh, other process of the court. Okay, it includes willful breach of undertaking of the given to the court. Okay, it's also a part of civil contempt. But what about criminal contempt? It is any publication or act scandalizes tends to scandalize the court, prejudice or interferes in judicial proceeding, interferes with or obstruct the administration of justice in any manner. Okay, in this cases, we will consider the person or the body as criminal contempt, and mm, the court can punish them. We will be studying it about the nature and scope, how they can be punished. They can punish by suo moto. Suo moto means they can initiate by themselves or by a third party also. They can do, okay, with the consent of attorney general or advocate general. Okay, with the consent of the attorney general article 76 and advocate general. Okay, they can do it by themselves also or through the third party. Okay, contempt is not the same as disrespect. It includes undermine justice and court authority, the very protector, preserver of our constitution, interpreter of our constitution. Their authority should be kept as intact. That is why this contempt of court act is being brought in. Okay. So fair criticism. Fair criticism is allowed. How about fair criticism? It's allowed and considered healthy for democracy. It is considered healthy for democracy. But the criticism that transfers limits impair the dignity, okay, dignity or authority of the court amounts to contempt. We have some examples like MV Jayarajan versus High Court of Kerala. The top court upheld the contempt and finding it against the individual using abusive language. Okay, abusive language. This case is about abusive language in a public speech about the court. Okay, about the court or a court ruling or a court this judgment. Okay, then we have another case in which Ashwini Kumar Ghosh versus Arvinda Ghosh, 1952. It is a criticism that transgress the limits of fair commentary may be considered just. Okay, if you cross the line, if you cross a limit of fair commentary, then we consider the contempt of court. Then another example we can say Anil Ratan Sarkar versus Iraq Ghosh 2002. It was held that the power of to punish the contempt must be exercised with caution and shall only be exercised when there is a clear violation of the order. Okay, this is for the courts that it should be exercised. The power to punish should be exercised with caution. It shall be exercised only when there is a very clear violence of the order. Okay, so this is the article on contempt of court. Covered every aspect of it. So let's dive into our next article, which is very interesting and very important with regard to our art and culture. Okay, the sixth relic brought to Patna from Delhi after 300 years. The 300 years uh, relic. Relic means the remains or the bodily remains or something which a great person used to have used. They used to use that thing. It's their belongings. It may be their uh, mortal remains, or it may be their belongings. Okay, so we have Buddhist relics in the stupa stored, kept in the stupas and all. The same way, Sikh relic uh, called Zore Sahib, which is the footwear of Guru Gobind Singh, the sixth, the tenth Sikh Guru. Okay, let's dive into the article. It says main significant Sikh relic. Okay, Zore Sahib. It is called the Zore Sahib, the footwear of the tenth Sikh Guru, the last Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and it has been brought to Delhi from Delhi to Patna over 300 years. Okay, detail of the relic. What is it? Zore Sahib is a footwear and an unusual mirror. Okay, unusual mirror of Mata Sahib Kaur, who is wife of Guru Gobind. Okay, it travels about 1,500 kilometers from Delhi, but that's not important. Then Why it is important? Why is this important? Because the relic was established at the Takht Sri Harmandir Ji Patna Sahib. Patna Sahib. Just remember this name, Patna. Okay, one of the five Takhts, seat of authority. Takht is called seat of authority. There are five Takhts in the Sikh religion. Okay, Patna Sahib. Patna Sahib is important. Yes, it's the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. You can expect this as one statement in the prelims questions also. Okay, so one of the five tasks. What are the other five tasks? Let's have a look of it. The significant spiritual importance center, pilgrim sites also. So Akal Takht is in Amritsar, the Golden Temple. Then Takht Sri Kesh Garg Sahib, which is in Anandpur Sahib, Punjab. Takht Sri Damdama Sahib, which is in Bhatinda, Punjab. Two more. Takht Sri Patna Sahib, Patna. It is the birthplace, and this is the place where we have brought this relic. Okay, Zore Sahib. Okay, so Patna, it is the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh. Okay, then Huzur Sahib. Huzur Sahib is in Nanded, Maharashtra. It is where the mm, Guru Gobind Singh Ji died. Okay, Guru Gobind Singh Ji died in this place. About Guru Gobind Singh Ji, is born in 22nd December 1666 and he died in 7th October, okay, 7th October 1708 at the age of 42 in Nanded, Maharashtra. Okay, so he have three wives and some sons, like, namely a few of them like Zoravar Singh, Fateh Singh, and Ajit Singh, and some like others. And very important thing you should know about Guru Gobind Singh Ji is the Khalsa. Khalsa, okay? Khalsa. Five Ks, right? Okay? Five Ks. What are they? Like Kesh, hair, Kanga. Okay? Kanga is the comb, very special comb. The Kada, which is a bracelet, metallic bracelet which you wear on their wrist. Okay? The chera is a special kind of a swords, which signifies their modesty, symbolizing their modesty. Okay? And one more thing, Kirpan. Okay? Kirpan is the sword, the five keys of Khalsa. Then how this relic has got the authentication and validation. Okay, how they got it? By Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts. They have done the carbon dating of it. They have done the radiocarbon dating of it, and find it that it was from the time of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and Union Ministry of Culture and Punjab government supported the relocation as well. Okay, so where was this? Patna Sahib, which has been brought to Patna Sahib. Where was this thing? The custody and the transport. The relic were earlier in private custody of Puri family. Hardeep Singh Puri, our Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, he was uh, formerly the Aviation Minister also. So Hardeep Singh Puri family was is, uh, taking care of this. They were in the private custody of this particular family of Delhi. Okay, he mentioned that his ancestors served Guru Gobind Singh Ji and safeguard the relic for centuries. Okay, so historical significance of Dore Sahib is that the return of Dore Sahib to Punjab present the spiritual reunion with Guru Gobind Singh Ji's birthplace, marks a major religious and cultural event for Sikh community. So this is very interesting and very important article. We have gone through all three important articles of today in this newspaper. So uh, read about it, read more, study well. I'm Let's wind up today's class. So keep studying, keep reading. Happy learning. Jai Hind. This is Vinod signing off. Bye. Jai Hind.